Nobody talks about this, but trauma doesn't just hurt your heart. It rewires your brain and it reshapes your nervous system, and it silently programs your body to live in survival, even when the danger is long gone. And maybe you've felt this without even knowing why. Have you ever noticed how you get anxious, even when nothing's wrong? Or how your muscles stay tense, like your body is bracing for something that never comes? Or how you overthink, withdraw, or feel completely numb, like you're disconnected from your own life? What if I told you this is not who you are? It's just a reflection of what happened to you and how your nervous system learned to survive. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." And this is exactly what trauma does. It hides in the unconscious, controlling your thoughts, your reactions, your relationships, even your physical health, until you finally see it. But here's the truth nobody told you. Trauma doesn't live in the past. Trauma lives in your body, in your nervous system, in your cells, in the way your brain was physically shaped by the pain you couldn't process. And until you understand this, no amount of mindset advice, toxic positivity, or just get over it will ever truly work. But there's good news. Your body knows how to heal. And once you understand how trauma changed your brain and nervous system, you'll finally understand how to reclaim your life. And before we dive deep, let me tell you, if you're ready to stop living in survival mode, if you're ready to heal, to finally come back home to yourself, I created a powerful guide that can help you take the first step on this journey. You'll find the link for it in the description. Check it after this video, and don't forget to subscribe, because this space is for people like you. People ready to wake up, to heal, to remember who they truly are. Let's be honest. Nobody prepares you for this. Nobody prepares you for waking up every day, feeling exhausted before the day even begins. Nobody tells you why your chest feels heavy, why your shoulders are always tense, why your stomach twists at the smallest stress, and nobody explains why, no matter how much you try to be positive or stay strong. There's this constant invisible weight, like something is off inside you but you can't explain what. And the world, the world will tell you. You're too sensitive. You worry too much. It's all in your head. But the truth is, it's not just in your head. It's in your nervous system. It's in your brain. It's in your body. Because trauma physically changes you, not metaphorically, not spiritually, biologically. Your brain literally rewires itself to survive. Your amygdala, the fear center, becomes overactive. Your hippocampus, the memory regulator, shrinks. Your prefrontal cortex, the part that calms you down, goes offline. And your body? Your body starts living as if the danger never ended. Hypervigilance, tension, digestive problems, hormonal imbalances, chronic fatigue, autoimmune disorders, all directly linked to unprocessed emotional trauma. This isn't just psychology. This is neuroscience. This is biology. This is your body trying to protect you from a threat that no longer exists. But here's what nobody told you. This isn't your fault. You didn't become anxious, disconnected, or hyper-independent because you're broken. You became that way because your nervous system did exactly what it needed to survive. Carl Jung said, "We don't become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." And today, we are going to do exactly that. We're going to peel back the layers to show you exactly how trauma, even the kind you were told wasn't that bad, physically reshaped your brain, your nervous system, and your body, and how this unconscious programming runs your life until you finally bring it to the light. And more importantly, I'm going to show you that it doesn't have to stay this way, because the same brain that was wired for survival can be rewired for safety. The same body that learned how to live in defense can learn how to live in peace. So stay with me until the end, because understanding this could be the moment your entire life starts to change. He was describing an entire operating system that lives beneath the surface, not just in your psyche, but in your nervous system, your body, your cells. And what most people don't realize is that trauma doesn't just affect your emotions. It physically rewires your brain. It reshapes the way your body processes stress, relationships, and even joy. Let's break this down. When you experience trauma, whether it's a single shocking event or years of emotional neglect, your brain has one job: keep you alive. It doesn't care about your happiness. It doesn't care about your peace. It cares about survival, and the way it ensures survival is by adapting. First, the amygdala, the fear center, becomes hyperactive. It constantly scans for danger, even when danger is no longer there. This is why you overthink, why you're always bracing for something bad to happen, why even in safe situations, your body still feels unsafe. Then, the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for processing memories, starts to shrink. This is why trauma memories don't feel like memories. They feel like they're happening now. Every trigger, every sound, every glance sends your nervous system back into the past, reliving what hurt you, even if logically you know it's over. And the prefrontal cortex, the rational, calm, decision-making part of your brain, begins to go offline during stress. It's why, when you're triggered, you can't think straight, why you freeze, or fight, or shut down completely. But it doesn't stop with the brain. Your nervous system shifts into chronic dysregulation. Your sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, gets stuck in the on position. You live in a state of hypervigilance. Your muscles tighten. Your jaw clenches. Your digestion slows. Your immune system weakens. For some, it's the opposite. The nervous system collapses into freeze, numbness, exhaustion, brain fog, disconnection, a sense of floating outside your own body. This isn't personality. It isn't laziness. It isn't being dramatic. It's biology. Your body becomes the reflection of unresolved pain, headaches that no doctor can explain, chronic back pain, digestive issues like IBS, autoimmune diseases, anxiety, panic attacks, insomnia. And here's what makes it even more painful, because the world doesn't teach us about this. You start believing it's you. You think you're broken, weak, sensitive. You blame yourself for the symptoms that were never your fault. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." This is exactly how trauma works. It becomes the invisible puppeteer of your life. It shapes how you show up in relationships. It determines how much joy, love, success, or peace you will allow yourself to feel. Because if your nervous system doesn't feel safe, it doesn't matter how good things are. You'll sabotage. You'll disconnect. You'll stay small. Not because you want to, but because your biology is programmed to survive, not to thrive. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that when something good happens, part of you waits for it to be taken away? Or when someone gets close, part of you pulls back? Or that no matter how much you try to rest, your body refuses to relax? That isn't mindset. That's a nervous system still wired for a threat that no longer exists. And yet, here's the paradox. The same brain that was wired for survival can be rewired for safety. The same body that learned hypervigilance can learn peace. The same nervous system that was taught chaos can be taught calm. But it starts with something most people never do. It starts with awareness. You cannot heal what you keep calling a personality flaw. You cannot heal what you constantly minimize, suppress, or ignore. Jung's work reminds us that the shadow, the hidden unconscious, holds the key. Because when you bring awareness to the unconscious, it stops running your life, and this is the moment everything begins to shift. When you stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start asking, "What happened to me? And how did my nervous system adapt to survive it?" That question changes everything, because suddenly, your panic attacks are no longer random. Your exhaustion is no longer mysterious. Your inability to relax, your need to control, your fear of abandonment, your sensitivity, your shutdowns, they all start to make sense. And when things make sense, shame begins to die, because what shame needed to survive was your silence, your confusion, Your belief that this was a personal failure. But now the light is on, now you can begin to see that what happened to you was never your fault. But what happens next, that's your power. Stay with me, because in the next part, we're going even deeper. I'm going to show you exactly how these trauma patterns become embedded in your identity, in your relationships, in your sense of self, and most importantly, how to start breaking free. Because the same mechanisms that wired your body for pain can wire it back for healing. Let's go even deeper. Because understanding that trauma rewires your brain and body is only the beginning. The question now becomes, how does it shape your identity? How does it silently control the way you love, the way you work, the way you show up in the world, without you even knowing it? Carl Jung often spoke about the false self, the persona we develop to survive in a world where our authentic self was once unsafe. And the tragedy is that most people live their entire lives as that false self, never realizing that the very traits they call just how I am are actually survival adaptations born from pain. Let's make this real. If as a child you were criticized, ignored, dismissed, or made to feel like your emotions were too much, you probably developed the good girl or good boy identity. Polite, quiet, helpful, always putting others first, always saying yes, never causing conflict, never asking for what you truly needed, and the world rewarded you for it. You're so kind. You're so easygoing. You're always so strong. But beneath that was a hidden cost, a growing resentment, a constant exhaustion, a nervous system stuck in fawn response, the trauma pattern of people-pleasing to stay safe. Or maybe your childhood taught you that vulnerability was dangerous, that love wasn't consistent, that the people who were supposed to protect you couldn't. So you became the hyper-independent. You learned, I can't rely on anyone. I can't trust anyone. If I don't do it myself, no one will. And while this gave you control, strength, it also created loneliness, disconnection, a body stuck in fight response where control equals safety, and intimacy feels like a threat. Or maybe, when things felt overwhelming, you shut down. You escaped into books, daydreams, numbing, anything to not feel the chaos around you. You became the invisible one. Low maintenance, quiet, out of the way. But your nervous system wasn't calm. It was frozen, a body stuck in freeze response, where disappearing felt safer than being seen. These are not personality types. These are not flaws. These are nervous system survival adaptations. Carl Jung called this the creation of the persona, the mask we wear to protect ourselves in a world that didn't feel safe. But the longer we wear the mask, the more we forget it's a mask. We start believing, this is just who I am. But it isn't. Who you are beneath the mask is something so much deeper, something your trauma never destroyed, only covered. And here's where it gets even more profound. Your nervous system doesn't just shape your sense of self. It literally shapes your relationships, your career, your health, your joy. A body wired for danger will unconsciously seek relationships that feel familiar, even if familiar means chaotic, dismissive, or emotionally unavailable. Because to the traumatized brain, familiar equals safe even when it's not. This is why people repeat cycles, why you keep attracting the same kind of partner, why you sabotage good things, why you struggle to rest, to trust, to relax. Your nervous system isn't resisting joy because it doesn't want it. It's resisting because joy was never safe. Rest was never safe. Being loved without conditions was never safe. So how do you break free? It starts with nervous system safety. You cannot heal a nervous system that still believes the world is dangerous. And this doesn't happen through logic alone. Telling yourself, I'm safe, doesn't work if your body doesn't believe it. This is why healing isn't just mindset. It's embodiment. Carl Jung's work on the shadow wasn't just about thoughts. It was about reclaiming the lost, hidden parts of yourself, especially the parts your nervous system exiled in order to survive.